Hello again, friends. This is going to be not only a quick kind of Tuesday podcast, but also a little bit different. So hang on a second and we'll get started. Hello again, friends and fellow truth seekers. Mike Nicholas here with another episode of the Soul Unleashed podcast, where my goal is to help you with the questions you might have regarding the awakening of your soul, and particularly to help other left brain types like I am to ask the right questions in our search for a deeper meaning to life. Ultimately, I want to help you unleash your soul from limiting beliefs and smothering paradigms. So today is a Tuesday podcast, which I try to make a little more personal and shorter than my Thursday ones. The way it's been working out a little bit lately is I've been doing my interviews and posting them on Thursday, and I think I'll continue to do that. I want to keep them around 20, 25 minutes, but man, the people I've been interviewing have been so interesting that it's gone on for, maybe 30 minutes for most of them. And even then, I've got to cut it off and say, we really can't do anymore. But what's happening today, as you listen to this, I am, if things go according to plan, on a motorcycle and riding with about 300 of my best friends with the American Legion Riders. It's a veterans organization here in the United States. And we do a charity ride every August. I've done it now since 2007. And I missed last year, of course, because my wife had her accident. But I do it every year, and we ride for about 5 days. Well, not 5 days, at least 5 days, and maybe 6, depending upon where we're going. We form up in the center of the country, usually in the Midwest. This time we're forming up in Kokomo, Indiana, which I've never been to. And then we ride from wherever we form up to wherever the National Convention for the Legion is. This year it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we're going to drive up to around Detroit for something and then down to Charlotte, and we'll finish there in 5 days. But we've been to a lot of other cool places. So we were recently in Phoenix, Reno, Nevada, Houston, Texas, Baltimore. We've been to Milwaukee, a lot of different cities. It depends on where the American Legion, the big American Legion, has their convention, and we ride there. Next year we'll be in New Orleans, I think. But the point is that we raise money for a really worthy charity, and the charity is to support college scholarships for the children of any soldiers that have been killed since 9/11. So we will probably raise well over $1 million this summer. I know we're well on our way to that. Our goal was to raise an endowment of $20 million when we started this, and I think that we're either there or we've surpassed that. So why do I mention that on this podcast? Well, first of all, because that's where I am, but secondly, when I was seeing a medium for the first time, and after our son had passed, and I was trying to figure out, when I walked into this medium's office, I've mentioned this before, I was expecting to see, chicken parts and blood drippings. But she was really cool, and one of the things she said to me was, I see you on a motorcycle, and your son, or my son, was showing this to her, and she said, do you ride a motorcycle? And I said, yes. And she said, he's asking me for you to talk to him, when you're on the bike. And a lot of people think that riding a motorcycle is spiritual, and it can be. But most of the time, honestly, I'm just trying to stay alive. And so I'm focused really on the road and what's going on. Riding in a group is a little bit different, especially riding with like 300 bikes. It's really planned out. We do a lot of pretty cool things. If you've ever tried to get 300 motorcycles through a gas stop and a comfort stop in an hour, you can appreciate where organization is important. And we're organized by groups or flights. My flight is mostly Virginia riders. I'm the road captain for that group. And so we all form up out there in Kokomo this year. And I'll have about probably 30, 35 Virginians that will ride as part of my group, Echo E. And all these groups ride very closely together. It's highly organized, as you might expect from an organization that is military. But on the spiritual side, I do sometimes, as I'm riding, think how amazing and beautiful and awesome it is to be doing this. Many times when I've been out in the Southwest, when we went to Phoenix a couple times and Reno, that part of the country, as stark as it is amazingly beautiful, especially at sunrise and sunset when you're on the bike. And there have been spiritual moments there. Another time was we were crossing the Mississippi near Corinth, Mississippi, and it had been raining like crazy for days. And right as we were crossing the bridge, and I was just with a small group. We were actually riding to head up and meet up with a bunch of guys in Kansas. But right as we crossed the Mississippi, the sun came out. It was sunset. And just the red setting sun after all that rain, it was a pretty spiritual experience driving across the bridge. And it's a little old bridge up there in Corinth. It's not the big bridges you see on the main interstates. We'd deliberately taken a way that I thought would be kind of cool and fun to ride, and that's what I usually look for. I love to stay off the highways if I can and just enjoy the countryside. So that's where I am. This is Tuesday. When you're listening to this, I'm someplace, I think, in the Appalachian Mountains and enjoying it and contributing to a very worthy cause. So that's what's happening today. That's what's happening this Tuesday. I invite you, please, to listen in on my podcast this Thursday. I'm posting an interview by a fascinating young lady named Kaylee Kinkella. And I interviewed Kaylee already and have posted her interview. And I think you'll enjoy it. She's something called a quantum field practitioner. I know, I didn't know what that was either. But she explains it. It's pretty interesting. And it was really fun to interview her. So thanks for listening. Again, if you have the opportunity to leave a rating for my podcast, I really appreciate it. It really helps out and helps people find me, which I'm hoping to look for, people like you that are interested in these kind of things. So thanks again. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.